All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for chapter 8.6. Again, we are still factoring trinomials, but now you guys are going to see that there's going to be a number in front. So we're going to factor that trinomial where there's a number in front of that guy. So when the coefficient of the highest degree term is not 1, meaning we call that the leading coefficient, we are again using guess and check. Guess terms to use in the binomials that multiply to get the first term and our last terms, and then FOIL to check that it works. Certain problems can be frustrating at times, but due to all of the choices, but keep with it, and don't give up. All right, so let's get started. Again, we're guessing, we're checking. This is where guessing and checking is super important. Here we go. I have 2x squared plus 9x plus 10. Now we take a look at the first term, 2x squared. Okay, that factors nicely to what? 2x and x. All right, 2x, do you guys agree? 2x times x is 2x squared? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay, so that's the only way to factor 2. Factors of 2 are 2 and 1. And factors of x squared are x squared and, x and x, right? So again, 2x and 1x are just x, is what we get. Okay. Well, now we look at factors of 10. This is where it gets tricky. We get 1 and 10, or 2 and 5. And we look back at factors of a positive. Factors of a positive are both plus plus or both minus minus. Well, we want it to add up to what? 9. Positive 9. So what do they both have to be? Both have to be positive, right? So I'm going to put pluses here. Okay. Now, how many different ways can we put 1 and 10 in here? This could be 2x plus 1 and x plus 10, right? Or 2x plus 10 and x plus 1. That's 2 ways. And I could plug in 2 and 5 here, or 5 and 2. So there's 4 different ways that you could try to factor it. There's 4 different guesses I could do. But guess what? Only one of them works. So if you're guessing and you don't check, you're going to be right like 25% of the time here. Is that really good if you guess? And being right 20, that means you're wrong 75% of the time. That's not good, right? So we have to guess and we have to check. And if we're wrong, then we try something else. All right, so what do you guys want to put here? 1 and 10 or 2 and 5? Which you want to try? 2 and 5? You want to put 2 here? Okay. So I put 2 here, 5 there. Now, one thing I notice here, is there a GCF here with the original problem? When I pair up the 2 with the other 2, do you notice there's a GCF then? So I'm guessing this is not going to be right because there's no GCF to start, but then when I put the 2 and the 2 together, I could actually factor out that 2, which is not what I want if there's no GCF to start with. But let's check the OI. Let's check it. That gives me 2x times 5, ooh, that's 10. And 2 times x is 2x. That's 12x. Is that what I wanted? And I guessed, I checked. Try it again. This is why it's nice if you guys have a Gotsch pencil or a regular pencil with an eraser. We guessed, we checked, didn't work. Now we try again. Well, we did 2 and 5 here. Well, let's try something else. What do you want to try here? Well, if you did 2 and 5, how about 5 and 2? Want to try that? Let's put the 5 here and the 2 here. Now we're going to check our outers. Is this going to work? What's 2x times 2? 4x. 5 times x. 5x. Is that what I want? Yes. So I guessed, I checked. Initially, it didn't work. So I got to try some more guesses. So I check the next one. Yes. That worked out. I want 9x, that's what I get. Okay. Again, if you do this with pencil, this will be so much better because instead of rewriting everything, you just erase the 2 and the 5 and you just flip them and see if those work. A lot of the times, guys, the factors that are going to work are the numbers that are close together because the numbers on the middle here are smaller. Unless this guy is really, really big, then you want to be using the bigger numbers. Okay? All right, so let's try this again here. Again, it's going to take a little practice here. I've got 3a squared, that's f, plus 13a plus 4. And that's my f and l. So I'm going to go ahead and factor that guy. 3a squared, there's only one way to factor 3a squared, right? What's factors of 3? 1 and 3, 3 and 1. I'll usually put the 3 first. And then what's factors of a squared? A and A. So A and 1A is, I usually write it as A like that. So 3A and A. You guys okay with factors of 3A squared is 3A and A? You guys okay with that? Okay. Now, factors of 4. Right? 4 and 1 or 1 and 4. Or what else? 2 and 2. Okay, so I could do 4 and 1 or 1 and 4, and then 2 and 2. There's really 3 possibilities here, right? Factors of a positive add up to a positive are both pluses. And now I have to decide, okay, what's going to get me up to 13a? What's going to get me up to 13a? What do I need to multiply the 3 by? Do I want to try 2 and 2, 1 and 4, 4 and 1? Ivan.
3 multiplied by 4.
3 times 4, so 4 here. And 1 here, is that what you're saying? You said the other, well, I think it's this way. That's 3a. That's 4a. Oh, darn it. I should have listened to Ivan. I checked my outers and inners, that didn't work. Ivan, I'm sorry. What did you say? 3a plus 1 and a plus 4. Oh, man, I should have listened to Ivan. Should have listened to Bruno. 3a times 4. Have you guys seen that movie, Encanto? Yeah, my kids like that. Oh, man. 12a and a. It's on Disney Plus. Yes! I should have listened to Ivan. Boom. I get 3a plus 1 and a plus 4. And there we go. Sometimes you guess and you get it right away. Okay? Ivan, why'd you choose 1 and 4 like that?
Because I just multiplied 3 by 4 and 4.
Yeah, so 3 times 4 gets you pretty darn close to 13, right? You're trying to get as close as possible to that number. So 3 times 4, if I put those on the outsides, it works out perfect. Okay. All right. So, again, got a few examples here. I'm not going to do all of these examples, but we got a few. Let's try the next one, number 3. I got 15x squared minus 13x plus 2. 15x squared minus 13x plus 2. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. Because earlier factors of 2x squared or 3a squared, there's only one way to do it. But now 15x squared, factors of 15 are 15 and 1 or 5 and 3, right? Now, when I do this, factors of 15, I look to see what's inside. I don't think that number is very big. So what I will do is I will try either the close numbers, and if the close numbers don't work, I'll try the farther numbers. But what do you guys want to try here? Want to try the closer numbers? I usually pick those first. Because if this number is not very big, like 30 or something like that, then usually it's the closer ones that work. All right, so I got 5x and 3x are factors of 15x squared. Are we okay with that? 5x and 3x? Now, if you do 3x and 5x, that's fine. I usually put the big guy first, the big number. That's just how I do it. That's how I roll. And now I got factors of 2. Well, factors of 2 are 1 and 2 or 2 and 1. Right? Now, this goes back to what we talked about before. That's a positive 2, right? So factors of a positive are either both plus plus or minus minus. Well, if it adds up to a negative, what do they both have to be? Both got to be negative. Very good. All right, where do we want to get up to 13? Do I put the 1 here and the 2 here, or the 2 here and the 1 there? Where do I put it? Tyler, any ideas? You want to throw one out? Where do we want to put the 2? With the 5 or with the 3? With the 5. Okay. Again, this is why it's called guess and check. I'm not sure if he's right or not. I haven't done this one this morning yet. I check it. 5x times negative 1 is negative 5x. Inside's the nose, that's negative 2 times 3. What's negative 2 times 3? Negative 6x? Is that what I want? That's negative 11, isn't it? Is that what I wanted? Ooh, close, but not quite right. So we try again. I got 5x and 3x. What's factors of 2? Okay, negative, we did negative 2 and negative 1, so let's try negative 1 and negative 2. How's that? Does this work? What's 5x times negative 2? Negative 10x. What's negative 1 times 3? Is negative 10 minus 3 negative 13? Yes. Boom. Gotched it. Easy peasy. We guessed. We got it wrong. So what? We erase and we try different numbers. Okay, that's why if you're doing these, using a pencil is going to be much easier. You're going to have to like X out and just do. And sometimes it takes you more than just 2 times, right? There's several different possibilities here. All right. There's like 8 possibilities or more. All right, you want to try the next one? Which one do you want to do here? 4, 5, or 6? Want to do 5? We don't have to do all these. Let's do 5. Let's be crazy. I got 6y squared minus 13y minus 5. I take a look. I want to do factors of f and l that add up to my oi. Now, tricky. Factors of 6. 6 and 1, 1 and 6. 2 and 3, 3 and 2. We have different possibilities here. Okay. What do we want to try? 6 and 1 or 3 and 2? Will, what do you want to try here? What 2 numbers?
3 and 2.
3 and 2. I usually start with the numbers close together, especially if I'm only going to get up to 13y or negative 13y. Okay. Now, factors of negative 5, we've talked about factors of a negative are either plus minus or technically minus plus. Okay. So this is where I say, okay, well, factors of 5 are 5 and 1, 1 and 5. I actually worry about the negative and the positive later. Okay. What do you want? What numbers do you want to put here? What's going to get me close to 13 or negative 13? Okay, any ideas? 5 here or 5 here? 5 with the 2? 1 here? Again, where do I put the plus or minus? Factors of a negative 5. I'm going to put plus here, minus here. I'm not sure if that works. I check it. That's negative, what, 15y? That's pretty darn close to negative 13, right? And then 1 times 2y is 2y. Yes, that did work out. All right. If I tried anything with 6y or y, you can't leave this, or where are you going? Yeah, you got to leave with 5 minutes left. Yeah. Yep. We still got 15 minutes on this. So this guy works out perfect. I got 3y plus 1 and 2y minus 5. Worked out great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions with that? All right. Let's have you guys take a look at this last one, number 7. Now it says always check for a GCF first. Sometimes you make your job way easier. If I take a look at 15x squared minus 42x minus y, this is where I start talking about the rules of factoring. Rules of factoring. The first rule is we don't talk about factoring. And the second rule is we don't talk about factoring. And the third rule is we don't talk about factoring. No, that's Factor Club. The first rule is we always look for a GCF. Is there a GCF? Question mark. If there's a GCF, then we want to pull that out. The second rule is we look at to see if we have a trinomial. And if we have a trinomial, then we use our guess and check method. So first rule is look for a GCF. Second rule, then we try to little guess and check. So as I take a look, the first thing I look at, is there a GCF here? When you guys take a look here, do you guys see a GCF? Are they all divisible by the same number? Lauren's shaking her head, yes. What are these all divisible by? 3. So I'm going to go ahead and take out a 3. So 15x squared divided by 3 is now 5x squared, right? What's negative 42 divided by 3? 14 negative. You guys okay with that? And then obviously negative 9 divided by 3 is now negative 3. Okay. So far so good? Now if you leave it like that, that's like saying, hey, like saying 30 divided by 3 is in prime factorization if I leave it like 3 and 10. So if you leave it like this and say, hey, that's factored all the way, and just like the same thing as saying, hey, 30 is prime factorization is 3 and 10. Well, can't 10 be broken down more? Down to 2 and 5? Okay, well, this guy right here could possibly be broken down further. So this is where I cover this up and I say, well, this is a trinomial that I know I can factor, or I hope to factor. What are factors of 5x squared? Only one way to do it. What are factors of 5x squared? What is it? 1 and 5, so 5x and x. So far, so good. And then we look for factors of negative 3. Again, factors of negative 3 are 1 and 3 or 3 and 1. One's a plus and one's a minus. Well, we got to get all the way up to 14. So 5x times what will get me pretty close to 14? 3. I'm going to put the 3 here and the 1 here. Who do you want to be plus or minus? Because it's factors of a negative 3. Okay? Plus 1 minus 3. Only way to be sure is to check it. That guy right there is negative 15x. This is 1x. Yes, I wanted negative 14x, and that's what I got. Okay. Now your final answer isn't just this. Don't forget about the 3 that you broke down earlier. That'd be like saying, hey, your answer factors of 30 are 2 and 5. I'd be like, well, what about that 3 earlier? So your answers would be 2, 3, and 5 for that prime factorization. You've broken that down all the way. Just like you broke this guy down by a 3, and then you broke your last guy down a little bit further. Okay. So if you can, always look for a GCF. So our last one for today, number 9. If I take a look, I've got 6y squared minus 12y minus 18. GCF is what? What can I take out? Kelly, what are they all divisible by? More. Yes, 6. These are all divisible by 6. Now, if I divide everything by 6, when you factor, that's like division. That leaves me with a y squared. What's negative 12y divided by 6? Negative 2y. What's negative 18 divided by 6? Negative 3. Very good. Well, isn't this an easy trinomial? It's a factor now, right? We know how to factor. Teach me how to factor. Teach me how to factor. Factors of y squared we know are just y and y. And what's factors of a negative 3 that add up to negative 2? One's a plus, one's a minus. Because it's factors of negative. Colton, you got factors here, bud? What's factors of negative 3 that add up to negative 2? No. Who's negative? Is the positive negative or the... Was the positive 3 or the negative 3? What'd you say? So 1 here and 3 here? Awesome. So I double check. I guessed. I checked. Got to double check. Colton's numbers. Yes, Colton. Boom. Final answer. That's not that. What am I missing? The 6. Don't forget the 6 you factored out initially. So that works out perfect. So guys, always look for a GCF. When you're doing your homework tonight, you're looking at the odds. Do you guys have any questions for me? So again, if you guys look, you guys are looking at 8.6. You are looking at just the odds for homework, ladies and gents. Just the odds. So you got about 15 questions you want to try.